Welcome in. I'm Prim Saripapow alongside our NFL insider, Mark Dominik, with your ESPN headlines. So, as if the Cleveland Browns needed any more cameras and attention with Jonnny football on their roster. Now, HBO approached the team about doing Hard Knocks, but Coach Mike Pettine said no. So, Mark, your thoughts on how the spotlight, because of Jonnny football, will affect the Browns, either negatively or positively?
Well, I think Mike Pettine probably looked at that situation and said, well, I don't really know if we want to be on Hard Knocks. Number one, they've got a quarterback controversy, or a quarterback battle, I think I should say, already happening in Cleveland. And they want to keep that in-house as much as possible. Last thing they need is a bunch of cameras. Two, Mike Pettine's a brand new head football coach. And so he has a chance to turn it down because of that. But at the same point, he wants to be able to establish what kind of football team he has, what's the mentality, and what's it going to be all about in Cleveland. Because he's got a tough man mentality. They want to bring a toughness to Cleveland, and it's hard to do that with all the cameras around. And so I can understand why the Cleveland Browns said this isn't really the best fit for our football team this year, because there's so many new things going into it.
Well, we have this full screen, because if you look at it, maybe it's best that they don't do this because it could be a distraction, obviously. Here's a look at how teams did the season after doing Hard Knocks. 4 out of the 6 teams finished with a winning record, and 3 out of the 6 made the playoffs, so something to consider. So, Mark, as a former GM, the way everything has transpired, we've seen him in Vegas, we saw him at the X Games sitting on an inflatable swan. What are your thoughts on how he has conducted himself?
Well, here's what I know. Every time you had a chance to meet Jonnny Manziel, you got enthralled by his swagger, who he was, and his love of football. So he loves the game, and I know he works at the game. You hear the coaches talking out of Cleveland already that he's really putting the time in. So he's doing everything right inside the building, which is the first step. But the problem is he's not making all the great decisions outside the building. And again, he's a young guy. He's got a life he wants to live. But he still has to make better decisions, because at some point there's going to be a situation where the Cleveland Browns could be embarrassed. And it's not because Jonnny Manziel did it on purpose or that he's just trying to live his life. It's that as a quarterback and as a public figure, you have to realize you have to taper some things off that maybe you don't want to taper off, but you have to, and because of the social media that we live in. And I think that's where Jonnny Manziel is walking a really fine line right now.
It's funny because some people say, oh, he's young, let him do what he wants, he's just having a good time, but I'm more on your side. You really have to be careful of where you're seen these days. All right, well, the Browns have mandatory mini camp this week, and then training camp begins on July 25th. HBO will not be there. That will do it for us. Keep it logged on to ESPN.com for all your NFL needs.